Today we are going to discuss about some of the document object model functions for finding HTML elements. First thing is, what may be the purpose of finding some HTML elements? The answer is, if we want to change or manipulate an HTML element. For example, if you want to access, if you want to change its content, if you want to change its attribute or properties, if you want to change its style, first and foremost thing is we need to find that HTML element. So there are some functions which are used for finding HTML elements in document object model. These functions includes finding HTML elements by using its ID, then finding by using its tag name, by using this class, by using its class name. There are also one function for finding an HTML element by using CSS selectors. Then there is one function for finding an HTML element by using HTML object collections. So we need to discuss all these functions in a detailed manner. The first thing is the functions which are used for finding an HTML element by using its ID. In this code, we can see one paragraph, that is one element with the tag name P, and its ID is intro. After that, we can again see another paragraph which has got no ID, and again one empty paragraph which has got an ID of demo. So here what we do is, here we are using one function. Its name is getElementById for finding an HTML element by using its ID. So if you want to find an HTML element by using its ID, we can use the function document.getElementById. So in this code, what we do is we are trying to get an element that is whose ID is intro. You can see that statement, var my element equal to document.getElementById of intro. That means in that variable my element, we are storing the reference of what? That intro element. So using that my element, we can manipulate which tag, that paragraph tag with the ID intro. So again, in the next statement, we can see document.getElementById of demo.innerHTML. We all know that what is the purpose of the inner HTML. Inner HTML is a property which is used for manipulating the content of an HTML tag. Inner HTML is used for changing the content of an HTML tag. So in this statement, what we are doing is we are getting the element whose ID is demo, then we are changing its content to what? The text from the intro paragraph plus my element.innerHTML. So if we execute this particular page, what may be our expected output? In the expected output, in that is we can see PID equal to demo. That is an empty paragraph. The content of that paragraph will become what? The text from the intro paragraph is hello world. So from this program, from this code, we can understand that the function getElementById is used for finding an HTML element by using its ID. Okay. Now we need to discuss about another function for finding an element by using its tag name. So we can use a function called getElementById for finding an element by using its ID. We can again, we have another function, that is getElementsByTagName. In this code you can see that document.getElementsByTagName. By using that function, we can find all the elements inside this HTML page which has got the tag name as the parameter of this particular function. So its syntax is document.getElementsByTagName. In the parameter, we need to pass the tag name of the elements that we need to search. Then the output of this function is, this function is returning a node list, that is list of elements which has got this particular tag name. So the output is a list. From that list, we can manipulate all the elements or the members of that particular list by using the index of that particular list. So from that list, we can access each and every elements which has got this particular tag name. So in this code, what we do is we are changing the inner HTML. Inner HTML means the content of the demo paragraph with what? The x0 dot inner HTML. x0 means the first element which is stored inside that particular list x, var x, that is our list. In that list, we can access every element of this particular page with the tag p. Is it clear? Okay. So the difference between get element by ID and get elements by tag name is get element by ID is used for finding an HTML element pinpointly. But here get elements by tag name will be returning a list of elements which has got that particular tag name. Clear? Okay. Then next function is finding an HTML element by its class name. We all know that what is the meaning of a class. Class is actually used for creating a custom style. How can you create a custom style? First we need to put a dot, then its class name, then you can define a style inside that particular class. Then if you want to apply that style, what we do is we need to find the element to which we need to apply. Then you need to put class equal to that class name. We need to get, then means we need to find the element which has got a particular class name. You can use this function document.get elements by class name. Its parameter is the class name that we are looking for. This function again returning a list which has got a list of elements which has got this particular class name. Then we can traverse through that list by using the indices, means 0 to n minus 1. You can find all the elements which are present inside that particular list. Okay, I hope it is clear. The next thing is, if you want to change the HTML content, there is a property, that is inner HTML. Inner HTML property, we can change that property for changing the content of a particular HTML tag or HTML element. So the content can be changed by changing its inner HTML property. How can you change that? First you need to find that element, then you need to put the dot, then inner HTML equal to the new value. That is, in this code you can see that var element equal to document.get element by id, id01. That means we are finding the element with the id01. Then what I am trying to do is I am changing the content of that element by using element.inner HTML equal to new heading. Here what we do is, upon executing this code, what we get is the heading will be changed from old heading to new heading. So if you want to change the content of an HTML tag, you can access its which property? Inner HTML property. Is it clear? Okay. Now we need to change the value of an attribute. I already told you that there are lots and lots of DOM methods which we enable to change the value of the attribute of a particular element. We can change the property means attribute. You can change the style of a particular element. You can change the content. Now we need to discuss about how can you change the attribute of a particular element. It is also simple. The first step is what? We need to find the element that we need to change the attribute. So how can you get that? You can use the function document.get element by id and id dot src. That src means the value of the attribute or the name of the attribute. Here that src means source of what? In this code you can see that there is an image img whose id is my image and src is equal to smiley.gif. By using this code, what I am doing is I am trying to change the source of this particular image from smiley.gif to landscape.jpg. So in this way we can change the value of a particular attribute of an element. So first and foremost thing is we should know which is the attribute that we need to change. By putting a dot and name of the attribute equal to new value, by using that particular syntax we can change the value of an attribute of a particular element. Now we need to discuss about how can we change the style of an HTML element. It is also simple. We can access a style by using style dot its style name, style property, style dot style property. So here also first and foremost thing is we need to find the element by using its ID or any other functions you can use. That is, you can use get elements by tag name or get elements by class name, or anything you can use. So first we need to find the element, then you need to put dot, then style dot, then which style that we need to change equal to its new value. In this way you can change the style. The syntax is document dot get element by id of id dot style dot property, which style property that we need to change equal to new state. Okay. Then another thing, another set of class, another set of, sorry, not class, another set of function. That function is used for finding HTML elements by using CSS selectors. The CSS selector means CSS ID, then class name, types, attributes and value of the attributes. All these things can be changed by using this CSS selector. If you want to change these values by using a CSS selector, we need to use a function called query selector all. Okay, we need to use a function query selector all. Then how can you use that function? We need to discuss about that. Okay. This is the code for demonstrating the use of query selector all. In this code we can see 3 paragraphs. In first paragraph what we printed is hello world, and next 2 paragraphs has got they are lying in the class intro. And you can see inside that script, we all know that what may be the purpose of that script tag. We are putting the JavaScript codes inside that script tag. Inside the script, you can see var x equal to document.query selector all. Inside that function, we put the parameter as p.intro. That means p is the name of the tag. Dot intro means we are specifying the class name. That means if you put p.intro inside this query selector all, what we get is all the tags p, they are within the class intro. That means this query selector all function is also returning another list which is satisfying this particular criteria. So in this code what we do is, in the second statement, in the next statement, what we say is document.get element by id demo.innerHTML. That means we are changing the content of that demo paragraph. Now demo paragraph is empty and we are putting the content of that particular demo paragraph as the first paragraph, index 0 with class equal to intro. Then we are appending x0.innerHTML. Here the x0 means the first paragraph which satisfying the criteria p.intro. So its inner HTML value is, you can see the DOM is very useful. That is the first paragraph whose class is intro and its content. Is it clear? So query selector all is also returning a list of tags which is satisfying that particular criteria. Here the criteria is p.intro. That means the tag name is p and the class name is intro. By using this CSS selector, we can again find the HTML document. HTML element. Now we need to discuss about the next thing that is the finding HTML elements by using object collections. Here the object collections, that is the buzzword. Object means what? Here each and every elements of a particular HTML page is viewed as objects. Then we are collecting those objects. Which all of the objects inside an HTML page can be collected? That is the next question. Here in this slide you can see document.anchors. This is a collection of what? Anchors, all the anchor tags which are present inside an HTML file. Then another thing, document.forms. What may be that? That is the collection of forms which are present inside an HTML tag. Then another thing, document.images. What may be that? That is the object collection of what? All the image tags which are present inside the HTML page. Then next collection is document.links. What may be that? All the collection of links which are present inside an HTML page. So you can collect anchors, you can collect forms, you can collect images, you can collect links which are present inside an HTML tag by using its collections. Here the document.anchors is the collection of anchors. Here document.links means the collection of links which are present inside the HTML page. Okay. So by using this you can also traverse through all the elements which are present inside the HTML page. This is the code for demonstrating the document finding a particular element by using its document collection. Here in this HTML you can see one heading of type H2. Then that is the heading. After that we are starting a form. Its ID is FRM1. That form contains one input element for inputting first name, then another input element for inputting last name, then there is a submit button. Okay, that is again there is another paragraph. After that what we are doing is we are inserting a button, then on click on that particular button we will be executing one function, that is my function. Our interest is inside that function there is a statement var x equal to document.forms. That is the collection that we already discussed about that. Document.forms is used for what? Collecting all the forms which are present inside our HTML. So document.forms contains collection of all forms. You can go through all those forms by using this particular syntax. That means as the index we only need to provide what? Its ID. That is document.forms of FRM1 means we are trying to access the form with the ID FRM1. Then you can manipulate that form by using X. That is inside that for loop you can see text plus equal to X dot elements I dot value. By using that you can go through all the forms. Like this we can access images inside a particular HTML element by HTML page by using documents.image collection. Then you can go through links. You can access the links by using document.links, like that. So the elements can be searched and found by using the collection, document object collections. Okay, hope this is clear.